live. We're alive.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool.
All right, let's do it in 3, 2. Welcome everybody to the 19th episode of Tech Laundry. I'm Jeff,
And I'm Tertius.
and today I'm doing.
We have a lot. We have a lot on our plate today, don't we?
We do. It's
Kind
one
of
of
like
those shows,
small bites, small plates,
small little bites, a medley, a cheese plate, a prosciutto of meats.
Various accoutrements.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm feeling good. Had my coffee. I'm waking up. This is morning for me. We're recording the show in the afternoon. We usually don't record in the morning. We usually do it at
This
night.
is not the morning. It's afternoon. You just said that.
This is morning to me because I work at night. So
I work from 3 to 11.
That's not that late. You got to work from 11 to 4 a.m.
That's your choice, dude. That's so your choice.
Lovely. I don't get text messages from friends. I don't have any notifications on social media. No one walks in on me. I just get to work and not get interrupted at all. I love it.
I was telling someone about your schedule, and my friend's like, "That is not the way to live. That's not human."
They can go frap themselves because I think it's great. And that's like, I think people should, as long as I'm getting work done, doesn't really matter. Everybody's all like, oh, older generations all coming in and telling me not to like do things a certain way. Like, you gotta
Okay. Speaking of crap, Amazon just announced a really, really, really cheap tablet.
So cheap, dude.
So cheap.
I don't even know what you could do with it.
It's so cheap. So basically, here's the price point. It's like how big is it, Jeff?
It's
how big?
7-inch display.
It's a 7-inch display. It's like 150 PPI. It costs $50. You can literally buy a 6-pack of it. You
could, and it would cost way less than like one of my lenses, which like is like right in front of me. I got this thing.
Think about how absurd the price is, like how amazing the price is. For the price of 5 Amazon Fire tablets, you can buy 1 iPad Mini.
What would you like do? Like, could you like link them? Like, I'm thinking like you can make like because it has a camera on it. It has like front.
Oh.
Okay, so let's quickly go over the features real quick. So
okay,
yeah,
cool.
right. So 7-inch display. It's 171 PPI. It's 1024 by 600. Crazy. Crazy. Not that good is what I meant. It's got a 1.3 gigahertz quad core processor, which is it's fine. And by fine I mean it'll do things.
It specs from 2004 basically.
It's like in terms of like the thing is like Android phones are usually like the stats are way higher than that. It sounds fancy if it was a desktop, but it's kind of not that at all. So rear and front facing cameras, and then like 8 gigs of storage, and then you get like, an
expandable storage though. They have that going for it.
Yeah, and you get like, you can have micro SD up to 128 gigs, and you get like free unlimited cloud storage for Amazon content stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, $50. I mean, if I had a small child, I would just basically like, here's your first tablet. If it breaks, not a big deal. Here you go. It's like not a
I picture people like buying the 6-pack of these and just giving them out as presents, like, during Christmas, because that's basically when it'll be good for. It's, like, oh, here's a tablet. Enjoy it in your bathroom.
Yeah, this is the bathroom tablet now. Like, we don't touch it anywhere else except just the bathroom.
I mean, like, okay, here's the idea behind it. So, like, okay, so Apple is a hardware company. So with the products they make, they want to make money from selling the product. Amazon, this is probably how much it costs to make this tablet. Like all the parts and stuff, it probably costs $50. What they're banking on is for you to use their ecosystem. You have to buy books on Amazon. You get Prime, so you can get like watch movies and stuff and use videos on that. And you can buy music through them and apps through them. So basically, it's kind of like how Sony sold the PlayStation. They didn't make money off the system, but they made money from selling the games.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get, because like Amazon slowly, especially with Prime, which initially started as like, you pay us $50 a month, you get 2-day shipping for a lot of stuff on the site, which is I'm currently a Prime member, and also
I know he buys stuff for me on Prime.
It's true. Don't you have? I'm surprised you don't have Prime. Like,
I
don't get
you I
free.
still here's the thing. I want it. It's one of the hands down best deals in technology right now. Like I will never deny that. There's a lot of things Amazon doesn't do right. It does Prime really well. They made it into such like a useful thing. Like you can get 6 months of like Washington Post like access for using it. I was like amazing. Here's a problem. I know I will use it. I will use it constantly, and I will keep buying things on it. So my thing is, it's such a great deal in fact that I can't afford to do it because I'll keep spending money on it. That's it. That's mostly it.
That is a very weird
Yeah. Okay.
way of.
I take it because I'm like, okay, I have to start buying stuff to like to kind of say, oh, it was worth me buying or paying for Amazon Prime. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay, I get it. So you're just like, I invested this much money. I should definitely
Yeah.
have to spend way more to get my money's worth out of it.
Yeah. So I mean, like the
Um,
whole idea of I have to ask a friend to buy it for me on Prime kind of like stops me from continuously buying all the stuff because I religiously follow slick deals and like I always track all prices and yeah, if I had access to Prime all the time, I would buy literally everything.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, but also like, so on top of also Prime, you also get access to like the Prime Video Store. What do they call it? I don't like to remember the name of that Amazon's like streaming service.
Yeah.
But you also get access to that along with like some music and stuff. It's not like a huge catalog, but it is there for like very specific things.
It's a pretty big catalog.
Is it?
But like yeah, it's pretty big, but like some of it is like premium stuff, so you still have to pay. But there are
Mhm.
like things that you can stream on there that are pretty good. So
Interesting. It's funny that you said six pack because I just read I scrolled to the bottom and it says make it a six pack, buy five get one free, and I'm
yeah,
like, what? I can't believe that's
exactly.
an option. That's so funny. Like make it a six pack, like you're buying a beer or something.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
imagine like, oh, if you were like one of those, like if you had a bunch of nephews and stuff, just buy like a six pack of tablets and like no one can complain. Here's the tablet, go nuts, connect it to your parents' credit card, and go to town.
true. It's funny because this is the same form factor that the Nexus 7 is.
I wonder if
Um,
we can compare like here's the problem with it too is that it still has the kind of Amazon skin on the Android. It's an Android based like operating system, but it has a skin on it to make sure you keep using like Amazon products.
It does, and something actually we haven't talked about on the show. One of my friend Ben was talking about Amazon Underground. Have you read or any heard any of
Yeah,
that?
Amazon Underground is like the true free apps on Amazon's marketplace. Yes.
Yeah. So it's the idea that you have a lot of these premium apps that normally have a lot of like in-app purchases, like
Yeah.
games or like you're playing Crossing Road or fucking bird flinging one. What's that one called? Oh God,
Angry Birds.
Angry Bird. That's what it is. And
Did
like
you
you have
forget
like
what Angry Birds was?
I'm not a casual gamer, okay? I'm a hardcore gamer. So, I that's below me for me to know
Jeff,
those
how many like
things.
gallons of Mountain Dew have you drank this past month?
I don't
If
even
it's
drink
none,
Mountain
you're
Dew.
not a hardcore gamer.
Coffee only. Black. Black coffee only.
Black. Black.
Um, so anyhow, it's the idea that you have all these premium apps that become free and unlocked.
Hmm.
But what you're giving up is the idea that you're submitting usage details from your device.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because some people just don't care about the fact, like a little bit about privacy, like, oh, well, I'm giving up because like if you use Google services, you are the
You're
product that
giving
Google
up.
is selling.
Yeah.
You're not essentially getting it for free, but it seems like it's free. So it's the same idea that Amazon's kind of doing, except they're kind of giving you this nice, they're like, oh, you get these premium apps, and it's kind of invisible the fact that you're kind of giving up these other details.
Yeah.
Interesting idea. Have not seen that another company do something like that before. And if you buy this tablet, you can take advantage of it, or if you have any other type of Amazon App Store app on your Android phones, should be good.
Here's the thing. Would you buy this?
If I was doing some weird project where I just wanted a disposable like if I wanted to make a really shitty camera array, like I was like, I need cameras, so I'll just buy 6 of these and then make a sphere so you can like make a 360-degree
Huh,
camera
interesting.
thing. Be kind of cool. Maybe if I wanted like OK Google, like
Yeah.
anywhere in my house, I like mount them on the walls so I can just hit OK Google and like have it's like a cheap Amazon Echo.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything other than just maybe convenience for people. Like,
Here's what I'm thinking.
yeah,
Car tablet.
that's a good
Mounted
idea.
mounted on your like dashboard. You have like videos and stuff on there.
That's actually a really good idea.
Right? It's not bad. And like you can like if you can do a hotspot with your phone, you can do like Google Maps on it and all that stuff.
I wonder
But
how.
yeah, you can have a little screen there. You
Let me
know?
actually let me do screen share since that's gonna be a thing now.
It's gonna be a thing now.
Share my screen here so you guys can see. That is not it. This is it. It looks just like a normal tablet. Sorry if you're totally not watching the video version of the show. We're basically kind of
Basically, what people are seeing now is okay. So it's a Slate tablet. There's nothing too crazy about it. One of the bigger differences that we'll see is the fact that it's kind of a stripped down version of the carousel style format. It looks a lot more like stock Android, kind of like more like kind of conventional Android software. So it's not that weird kind of swipe and through all your apps kind of thing. There is like this kind of app drawer kind of thing.
yeah. Oh, Fire OS 5. You know, I actually have no experience with the with Fire OS. I didn't know that's actually what they called it.
Yeah.
Bellini. Hmm.
Oh,
But that's a good idea because I wonder how well it would work with Google Drive.
yeah.
It would be
And okay, just give the internet like 2 weeks, and they'll have this thing like jailbroken. I'm pretty sure you can install like another kind of home screen kind of thing. You know, like you can install the what was that thing called?
launcher.
The
Nova
Google Now. Google
or
Now.
Google Now Experience or whatever.
Yeah, that one.
Gotcha.
So like, I mean, I am really tempted to get this because it's a $50 tablet. And if I can read on it, and if I can like not necessarily jailbreak it, but kind of find a way to read my EPUBs on there and PDFs on there, it costs less than the Amazon Paperwhite, and it has the access to all their a lot of the apps, a lot of the like Google apps. So
With the
it could be
exception
worth.
of the with the exception of like the awesome battery life the Paperwhite has.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like I kind of want to do a test drive, to be quite honest. Maybe we can do an unboxing on it because, why the hell not? I feel like that's the idea a lot of people will have towards this tablet. Why the hell not? It's just 10 burritos, maybe 100 coffees.
10 burritos, 100 coffee. If you're paying $2 for a coffee, actually no, that's about right.
It's not bad, right?
It's like $1.80 if you go to Starbucks or something like that.
Oh, for me it's $2.60. The iced coffee, grande iced coffee, heavy whipping cream, sugar-free hazelnut.
Good Lord, man!
That's my order. It tastes like ice cream. It tastes like ice cream, and I dig it.
I don't understand. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can get like free refills.
Really?
Yeah, I have. Since like I'm a green member or something, I get free in-house like refills. So I like just hang out there and do work and read. I'm that guy.
How do you become a green member?
By drinking a lot of coffee, and then you become a gold member.
Oh.
But you're too much of like a coffee snob to want Starbucks, though, aren't you?
That's the thing. Like I have to go there and like I have to go there. I just make it in my house. Like I just made this. Speaking of which, my lovely girlfriend got me this coffee called Death Wish Coffee. That is supposedly like the strongest caffeinated coffee in the world. I don't know how true that is, but
so have you tasted it yet?
It works. It's actually
it works.
It works. It's not bad. I definitely do like it. I tasted it expecting it to be like this like deep roast, like intense coffee flavor, but actually it was more mild than I was expecting.
Huh.
Not too bad. Not too bad. And definitely I don't know if it's a placebo effect. Maybe it's
It's love, Jeff. It's called love.
Maybe that is. It's working.
Love's keeping you awake.
It's funny that also on this Amazon tablet they say like almost 2 times durable than the latest iPad Air. I don't know what that means. 2 times more durable. Durable than Then what? Like breaking it in half, like bending strength,
Like
or
dropping, probably dropping.
yeah, it's a bunch of weird stuff. Anyhow, this tablet will be available on September 30th, so end of this month. You can buy it on Amazon. We'll have the link in the description for the
In
show,
12 days.
or you can Google it.
Jeff, maybe I'll make you order it for me.
Maybe if my clients would pay me faster, it wouldn't be a problem. But you know, it's kind of waiting on those checks, guys. Anyhow, so moving on. We're gonna talk about Google rumors, which is exciting because it's been a long time since we've had a Nexus event, and Google has Google has an event set for September 29th, which is 2 weeks from now, if I remember. Is it Tuesday?
So excited!
It's gonna be great because it's been a long time since the refresh, or not too long. Nexus 6 came out last year, but the new refresh for the 5 will be coming out supposedly at that event, along with a Chromecast update. Which
okay, these two like kind of products are like our favorite Google products. I freaking love the Chromecast. I use it almost every day. Not every day. I don't really watch TV that often, but it's rad. The $35 dongle that changed streaming forever. Okay, that was the price point everyone that slapped everyone's face.
And you're totally right. Like, I still get people they'll come over and they'll be just like, oh, I have this thing I want to show you. It's like, but I don't know how to cast on a screen. And I was like, well, just put it on Chromecast. Like, what? Like, they've never still heard of it. It still blows their mind. Like, how are you doing this? I'm like, you just Chromecast it. It's been out for 2.5, 3 years now. And they're just like, they can't believe it. It's like magic to them.
But there are a few things that could be better. That's a thing. That's the thing with technology. There's always things that can be better. It's a great product, but here's some things that we kind of want to see. Jeff, what's your first one?
I want everything to be better, for one, in terms of integration. I don't know if other people who use Chromecast can definitely identify this with. Say you're at a party, right, and there's Google Music's up on the Chromecast, and so you want to add something to the queue, and maybe you're using Chromecast at home, and then you came to the party, and it would try to connect to the network, and then it would try to load the Chromecast on that network, and it would kick other people off or stop the music, and there's a lot of weird things that would happen when you try to add to the queue or you connect to a Chromecast, and it would just restart the app, or it would just stop whatever it was playing, and it was super annoying. I think that needs to be fixed in terms of just integration and user experience. I would also like it to be just faster in general when it loads.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching Netflix on it. There is quite a bit of a latency and all that. I mean, here's one of the things that probably won't get in there, but I think should: 4K support. But
okay.
But then I think it should have an Ethernet port if they were gonna do 4K, just because it's a ridiculous form factor, but resolution. It'd be pretty cool.
It's a lot of information, and you can do it over Wi-Fi, but just to have the option would be nice to have, because it usually has a micro USB or a mini USB in the back. You can just plug in a dongle. Plug it through Ethernet would be nice. Also, if it did power over Ethernet, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
Rumor has it.
Can Ethernet transport power? I don't think it can. I don't think it. Really?
PoE.
Ethernet?
Yeah, it's funny because I met the guy who invented power over Ethernet. He goes to my church. I Googled it. His name's on the patent. So, I mean, that was pretty proof right there that he was involved in the development of it. That was pretty crazy. Small story. Just thought I'd mention that.
You non-name dropper.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I remember Googling at the time, what a weird thing.
What a weird thing.
I don't remember how we even talked about it, but that just came up. What was I going to say?
Other things.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So other things about the Chromecast. Okay. One thing on the wish list is I want it to be easier to play things like MP4s or MKVs natively from my laptop onto the Chromecast. Make it something that it get a VLC app, something that will make it seamless in terms of trying to get a video on there, not just on my phone, but on my PC or something else.
Yeah, I used to have the Videocast or something. There was this app called Videocast that if you could drag a file into it, and then it will try to play it on your browser so you could sync with your Chromecast. But it was so slow, it was such a pain. So if there was a native way to do that, I think that'll be pretty great. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and like you can even drag like you can drag sometimes MP4s into Chrome, and it will just play the file in the browser, but it won't be like 100% there. There's some weird issues with audio occasionally, and
Yeah.
it needs to be a better way of doing, because that's like the most frustrating thing we come across. We're just like, you know what, fine, we'll just bring the laptop into the living room and plug through HDMI, and it's like this whole thing, and it really should be improved. I mean, granted, this came out like 2.5 years ago, so it's been quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things that still bugs me is the fact that the screen mirroring from your Chrome browser to Chromecast is still in beta. What the hell?
Yeah.
Why is that still a thing?
It's been years
like,
too.
They need to find out, like, they need to work out the kinks and really do, like, invest time into syncing Chrome with Chromecast, especially on that. Because one of the things I do is I watch Netflix on my laptop and I want to, like, put it on the Chromecast, and it still does one episode at a time kind of things. And I'm like, just do what my phone does. Why is that so hard? It's not that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, we're all like, yeah, and another thing, Google.
We're mad. We love your product, but it could be better.
We hate you because we love you.
That's what my parents tell me.
That's that's every parent has that moment, I'm sure, forever.
You are wearing a pink
some
shirt.
Some longer than others. It's true. Chico State, gotta represent, guys. So we're talking about Chromecast more. So they say that. Oh God, I had a thought about the Chromecast, and I'm trying to remember what that thought was.
I wish it was made of brushed aluminum. That'd be awesome.
We'll never see it because it'll be behind the television, but man, will it be shiny.
I want it to be like glowing. Oh, you're right.
I want it to be like this clear purple plastic, just like how like the Game Boy Color was for Nintendo. Like, just like you get to see the see-through plastic. Oh, it's see-through, man.
You know what would be cool? If the Chromecast, if it's standalone by itself, it could have access to Bluetooth, and you can just use it as a Chrome browser. And that's it. Imagine that. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I would believe that probably wouldn't be too hard to implement already. It's already running a form of like the Chrome OS on it, I think. And like it wouldn't be too much to just make it a complete system on a chip.
Yeah. If you can connect a Bluetooth keyboard to it, it would be like 100 times more useful. So you would like kind of sidestep the idea of using Chrome on your laptop and then sync it over, because it's already a Chrome browser on your TV. So I think that would be really cool.
Let's hope so, because Intel already has stuff that's like system on a chip. Their little sticks are like literally like full running PCs. You can just
for like $150, $200.
Yeah, and I haven't read anything about them further than their announcement, and like people were like kind of skeptical, like what is this for? And we're not really sure yet, but. Rumor has it so that the new Chromecast will have brand new design. They say a variety of new features, which is really vague, including built-in Spotify support. So for Spotify user, which everybody is because it's a free service and a lot of people love it.
Even people do love it.
Even over Apple Music, which has a lot of development to do on that end. Actually, let me pull up the screen here. They have supposed leaked shots of what it's supposed to look like. I'm not a fan of what it looks like. Yeah.
Can you do picture-in-picture?
Can I?
Hold on. I want to see. I want to see too, because I've never seen this before.
Look.
Oh.
Yeah. Looks like
what?
A balloon.
It looks like it looks like a multicolored balloon. That's weird.
Man, it is really weird.
That is. I don't think that's real, because how would that, like, how like the design of Chromecast is kind of a stick so that it can fit through your HDMI thingy without kind of being cumbersome to the rest of your ports.
Mm-hmm.
That just looks like it would be in the way of everything. I don't think this is a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not the pinnacle of design. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I this is a giant grain of salt here, so I would just ignore this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that comes in different colors. I don't understand. Like you never see this. This will be behind your TV. You'll never see it. So it says it'll have 802.11ac Wi-Fi, which is great. Chromecast audio feature is actually a huge thing that a lot of people have been requesting, because they have nice speaker setups, but they don't have a way to take advantage of it.
There's no plug-in.
Yeah. So auxiliary cord. Some people want the optical in would be nice.
So basically, people want the Nexus player.
Yeah, that's essentially like that's what people kind of wanted. I'm not sure if that's the market that Chromecast wants, because I think Chromecast is more for just like really simple. You plug it in, it works.
Yeah,
But if you want a premium experience, you go for the Nexus player.
exactly. But people don't want to spend more to get more.
Yeah,
That's just people.
but they'll bitch about it until something happens. I'm sure.
Welcome to America.
USA complaining. The documents say it's the multi-room support. I'm not sure what that means. I guess if you have multiple ones.
If you have multiple, that'll be cool. Oh, you know what'd be cool? If you could talk to Google Now on your phone for your Chromecast.
Oh, so this will be kind of like
Like Siri.
their
Like kind of Siri or
their
like the Amazon.
Amazon Echo. So it'll be their Echo. I know, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't know if the current Chromecast or the future one. I don't know where I heard this, but I've heard that the Chromecast like it emits an inaudible tone, and it has a microphone to pick up certain sounds. Like if you're like, it does it for like syncing things. So if like it picks up the network by listening, like physically for a sound, a tone that's
Mm-hmm.
inaudible to humans, and that way it's able to like sync and like kind of make sure that there's no collision, or that you actually are inside the same room as the Chromecast. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at that more. I think that was just a really big
What?
thing. Yeah, no, I'm not joking. I'll have to look it up. I'll find the
You'll probably find a link to this on our website because Jeff is weird and he didn't really read the article. So
yeah. Well, I didn't read that. Well, there was no article as far as someone was talking about it on a podcast, and I was like, "What? That's the craziest way to sync something. What a funny thing." Yeah, the Fast Play's new feature likely Chromecast establish a connection faster than before. So Chromecast will be basically better than ever. It'll be faster. It will use better Wi-Fi specs, and it will hopefully have an auxiliary cord plug-in. So if you have speakers, you can just plug that in and get a little bit better sound, more flexibility stuff. So Chromecast.
we'll see in 2 weeks, right? In 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Hopefully.
2 weeks, guys. We'll be tweeting about it. I don't know what kind of event. It's a special media event. I'm not sure. Live tweetable kind of thing.
Hopefully it's like live stream so we can tweet about it. That'd be rad.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the Nexus 5 and 5. Okay, so wish list for the new Nexus 5.
Okay, so 1, not a phablet. Hopefully not a phablet. Not like the Nexus 6, which is too big. I want somewhere around 4.6, 4.7, 4.8 iPhone size, but maybe a little smaller. That'd be cool. Like, that'd be cool if it was the like Nexus 5 size, kind of like that, but just really good innards.
Nexus 5, but good innards, just like us.
Like better.
I'm not sure what I want in the new Nexus 5. I know I like their form factor a lot. In fact, one of my friends had a Nexus 6 and it broke, and so he fell back on his old Nexus 5, and he was commenting how he really likes the Nexus 5 form factor over the 6, because the 6 is like huge,
It's huge. It's a phablet. It's huge.
It's a phablet. And the Nexus 5 is just like this. It just looks so much more elegant. I like the two-tone color, like the black and the white backing and the soft touch.
Yeah.
It just felt good. And it was affordable, and it did everything fine. It, all that stuff. So I'm not really sure.
Okay, you just touched on one of the other ones I really want. Back to a $350 or $300 price range. The Nexus 6 had a problem of like being like the most expensive Nexus to date. Like the Nexus line was all about two things: affordability and stock Android. And like the Nexus 6 was like $600. It was true flagship. It was huge and a true flagship. That's kind of why it was just like, for me. I didn't want a phone that huge. I would have, like, come on, no.
I think most people were really underwhelmed by, not underwhelmed as in like it didn't meet their expectations. It was more that just like, it was not.
It's not what we expected.
Yeah, it's not what we were expecting, because like Nexus 6, like not very many people want to pay that much for a product that is, it's good, but I think if they were going to pay that much, they would look for other premium products.
Like for the Nexus to be a truly killer product, it needs to be that $300 or $350 price point unlocked. Especially in the way current trends are going, that like no one is doing subsidized contracts anymore. So that would be extremely kind of like really attractive to people.
If I had to say, I think the closest competitor to the Nexus line of phones would be the OnePlus company
Mm-hmm.
and their OnePlus One, OnePlus Two that they are releasing, just released. I'm not really sure. It's kind of up in the air. I'm not really sure how that company.
It's
The company has
always
like
like
really weird
okay,
launch
that's the
issues.
difference between like OnePlus and the Nexus line is because the Nexus is like, it used to be like how like the Nexus 7 it was a tablet for everyone. It was for everyone because it's cheap, so cheap. But the OnePlus is cheap, but it's not for everyone. It's for the elite exclusive who is in the invite list kind of thing.
Yeah.
So completely different ideas behind them. So okay, other thing is fingerprint sensor and NFC to keep it, using the Google Wallet, Android Wallet or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think there's already if I remember, I think there's already integration kind of for it on the
Mm-hmm.
current Nexus 5. I know
Like Android Pay? What is it called? I don't even remember.
I think it's called Android Pay. And
Okay.
I I don't know if point of sale systems are like kind of foggy for me. I'm not exactly sure how they roll them out or what compatibility
Yeah.
is, or if it's just anything
Yeah.
that has NFC will work on it. I'm not completely sure, but
Yeah.
maybe if they like push it
It's probably if it all uses the same NFC chip, I'm pretty sure it's a firmware update.
So rumor for the rumors for the new Nexus 5, which might be called the Nexus 5X, supposedly is going to have a 1080p resolution display.
That's a good
5.2
idea.
inch.
I hate all the 4K or the 4K phones. It doesn't make any sense.
I
Like
don't understand that either.
like what? Once I mean the color saturation does become like really great, but I don't really care much about like super saturated colors if you can give me like 2 days worth of battery life. Like come on.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have all these fancy things. I'm like, that's great, but I mean, it's also a really tiny display to start with. So 1080p looks great when it's on like a 5-inch display.
Yeah. Or at the very least good enough.
Good enough is good. I mean, even the iPhone 6 is not even 1080p. The iPhone 6 Plus is 1080p and over. But even like, yeah, an iPhone, like no one ever complains about the iPhone 6 like screen at all. Or like, yeah, it looks great. They can't tell. Like no one's gonna know. The pixel density is just enough that most people won't even be able to tell or care.
It's just like really mild like saturation and deeper blacks. That's all it is. I would rather give those up for super powerful battery life and Okay, what else is there, Jeff?
The display will be P-OLED.
What does the
POLED.
P? What does the P mean?
I don't know what the P means. I've never heard of that. Persistent P. Maybe it just means P. It's a P-based organic LED.
We're very green. We're
very green. We have people peeing around the clock to get these displays on time. It'll have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 620 processor, up to 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs starting storage. Thank fucking good. 802.11ac Wi-Fi, NFC, Bluetooth 4.2, 3,180 milliamp hour battery, and a MediaTek MT3188 wireless charging receiver, which is interesting. They listed that. Is that Qi? Is that Qi compatible? I don't know if this is. Let me Google it real quick.
Isn't Qi the standard? Like no matter what, I think in terms of non-Apple products.
It just seems weird that they named the chip for charging.
They'll have like the super fast charging thingy, like a lot of phones have now.
I don't see anything that would indicate it. It'll have a 13 megapixel sensor, f1.8 aperture. Great.
Cool.
F1.8. I mean, that's actually better. I think isn't the iPhone 6 at 2? F2?
Yeah, F2 around there.
F2, so it's a stop better. Optical image stabilization, great. Laser autofocus.
See, this is starting to feel like this will not be kind of like a $350 phone with all those features. We'll see. We'll see what actually like because this seems like the grab bag of things everyone wants on every phone.
It could, yeah, and maybe they're gonna change it so that the Nexus 5 will actually be more like the Nexus 6 line, just a different form factor. Hopefully not, but we'll see. 4 megapixel front-facing dual-tone LED flash, front-facing stereo speakers, rear power button with integrated fingerprint sensor, Type-C connector with quick charge 2.0. So there will be quick charge.
Again, hold on. This is still rumors, Jeff. Come on.
This is still totally rumors because literally this check marks everything that anybody
you could ever want
from a standard like phone. It's amazing. Wait, aluminum frame with chamfered edges. I don't even know what that word means. What is a
That's
chamfered?
like an iPhone thing, chamfered. Like your 5S has it. Those are chamfered edges.
In carpentry, cutaway, right-angled edge or corner, making a symmetrical sloping edge is what the definition for it is. Wow. And yeah, you're correct. That is a chamfered edge. So it's exactly how my let me just put my phone right next to me actually. Uh,
Oh God, look at those dings.
I love it. I love how it gives my character, like my phone, so much character.
I doubt it.
Kind of give you an idea of that.
You know what's better than character? Purity. Minimalism.
It's yeah, it's both, man. No case. Hashtag no case. And the idea for okay, so and they're looking for the price point from $300 to $400. Can it be done? Probably. Will we see it? We'll just have to see about that. That is a lot of features.
It seems like too many features. It's one of those things you're just like, ooh, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, people expect a lot from Nexuses because it is Google's flagship. It is the kind of standard bearer for the Android line. So definitely, yeah.
Let me share my screen. So that's supposedly supposed to be the leaked photo of the new Nexus. It's a fingerprint sensor in the back here, dual tone, ambient light, I think, and then this is just the normal camera sensor right there.
That is a
so not bad look. I mean, it keeps the look. In fact, actually, it looks more like a Nexus 6 than it does a the 5, I think. Because I think that, yeah, well, I mean, the 5 was the old one, had like the corner camera here, and it was like more squarish than it was this roundness.
Yeah, so this might still be a render too. It might just be a non-real thing. So, well, I guess we're gonna definitely cover it when it does come out. And if it's $300, Jeff, would you jump? I know you're in the market for a new phone.
Would I jump? And I am in the market. I'm currently still waiting. That's the thing. Like I want to buy a new phone, but I'm waiting for my payments to come in, so it's taking a while. I am in the market. Would I jump? That's such a thing. I have such an appreciation for Apple hardware, and I have seldom had issues with any of my phones. And like, I mean, like I just like Apple stuff. I mean, right?
So no amount of like Google kind of awesomeness would just kind of steer you away. What would be the feature that would steer you away? I guess would be the easier question.
What would be the feature that steer me? Stability, I think. I've had issues with apps crashing or kind of integrate like the user experience when I use my tablet. Speed aside, I feel like is not completely there. Like when I look at it and I use it, I'm like, I'm not enjoying using the user interface, and I can't quite quantify why I'm not completely on it. Like there's definitely like I don't have any issues where I'm like I love like the swipe down menus and all the notifications and the way it does multitasking, and then, like sometimes the back button kind of pisses me off because I don't really know. It's ambiguous sometimes what the back button does. But as a whole, I think the user experience could be just a little bit better. Yeah, I guess that would be it. I'm excited because I mean, if someone gave me an Nexus 5, the new one, I would use it. Of course, I would. And maybe I would.
If the price was right.
The price is already $350 is not bad.
Just compared to a $600 phone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm already using all the Google products, and Google Now is great. It always tells me like like how far away I'm from X, or like it knows when I'm supposed to pick someone up from the airport the day before it's supposed to happen. It's like, hey, you should probably get up at this time because traffic's gonna take this much longer or whatever. So
we'll see. We'll see in 2 weeks.
We'll see in 2 weeks. Maybe my mind will change. Who knows?
Yeah.
And as we go into
speaking of your new phone, I mean, iOS 9 was released this Wednesday. I was waiting for it. I was tweeting about it. It like got released at 10 o'clock in the morning. There were problems beforehand. A lot of people were reporting problems getting it, and it was like resolved after like 30 minutes. So like it became available for a lot of people. And for me as a Nexus, an iPhone 6 user, it felt pretty great. I mean, I didn't see any drop in quality in terms of speed or performance. I got my iCloud Drive app back, and my notes is back to being really awesome. So, yeah, I mean, like, have you upgraded to your iOS? I mean, you have the 5, right?
Yes. So I'm on the 5 right now, and today I've been trying to update, but iTunes is throwing a weird error for backup. I'm not sure
Mhm.
why. I'll figure
Weird.
that out. But I have been an iPhone user, I guess, since the 3G.
Mhm.
And it has, so this idea of like updating your OS has always been kind of a touchy thing for some people because
Yeah.
everybody's under the impression that updates are bad for your phone.
Mhm.
With every
There,
generation, it's kind of gets your speed gets like the performance gets worse is the
yeah.
idea.
I mean,
Um,
they do have a point. Like this really does come from experience, and it okay. Like going back to remember a couple weeks ago when I cracked my phone, I had to send it over to get repaired. I
yes.
was using a 4, which was running iOS 7, and I can tell you right now, and it was excruciating. Just it was super slow. It was really annoying. Like I forgot how small screens were. It was just this. It felt like the update to iOS 7 made this phone unusable because I remember the 4 being a really speedy phone when it first came out. But the updates really did bog it down. And of course they added new features and all that, but it seems like if they were to give an update for like all the phones, they should like kind of give a staggered kind of update to all the other phones, so keeping in mind like the usability, because when you upgraded to just iOS 7 on the 4, it became really unusable. Apps crashed, it was super slow. So I kind of wish more, and this kind of like relates into the idea of like planned obsolescence. Like every year, new stuff comes out and we're expected to buy new stuff. So it's an interesting concept. So, like, do you have any kind of hesitation in upgrading other than the error right now?
For right now, no. And everything I've read about iOS 9 is actually very interesting because people have only got usually generally good things to say about performance. And they're like, yeah, it's about the same. Maybe if it was worse, it's kind of imperceptible, or if it's better, they
Yeah.
really couldn't say for sure. And this is in the general industry, it is actually kind of amazing that Apple is still supporting hardware that's from like 4 years ago.
Hmm.
That's like generally not the idea when like they release a new version of an OS or new hardware, they're going to keep supporting old hardware. But there's this expectation for them to keep doing that. When
Yeah.
generally that's not how it works. If you just work on any computer, and they say every like 4 years you've like doubled or tripled your your desktop speed, or chips have just gotten X amount better according to like Moore's law, wherever they like double the amount of transistors every few years or so.
Hmm.
And the 4S, like, so the iOS 9 is supposed to support back to the iPhone 4S, and the 4S came out in October of 2011. That's long time. Like the 4S feels like forever ago. And the fact that they're releasing hardware.
Jobs was still alive.
Jobs was still alive. I think, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, like he was gonna die. He was like watching like the 4S introduction on his deathbed, basically. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he was pretty
that's where
close.
his perspective. Jobs is still alive.
And he was just like, yeah. And then now he looks at probably Apple now today. He's like, what do they do to my company? Even though it's only gotten more valuable. Um, like that's completely amazing. And yeah, as you said before, like I had an iPhone 4 and I jumped ship as soon as I could from iOS 6 to 7, and that was the biggest design jump.
Hmm.
But it wasn't. It was best. It was good for design. It was bad for
Just
everything else.
performance. Just
Performance was
performance is
terrible.
awful. Yeah, just really,
Um,
really bad. Like my mom uses an iPad 2, and we upgraded her to iOS 7, and she's just like so frustrated with it. Like we're gonna have to buy her a new tablet because it just doesn't work anymore. It's so slow. It's so painful to use. Like it's really funny when you watch your mom struggling to use Facebook on her tablet. It's just like, oh, it's so sad.
like, oh man, you have so much patience. Like this has made you
Yeah,
a more patient person by using this product.
it's just like I couldn't deal 15 minutes. I was just like, nope, nope, done. I was done. So, I mean, hopefully, I really want to like get back to this idea of flat obsolescence when you do upgrade, because I really want to see, because by the time it rolls around, it would be 2 years old, right? That you're 5. Because
Feel like
5S,
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years, I
I
think.
mean, like the new one just got released, so it's what? How many generations old? 3 or 4 generations
5S,
old?
6S. So yeah, like 4 generations.
Yeah, 4 generations old. So it would be really interesting to see if they still like really the performance still kind of withstands this idea of like just get a new phone already, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the new generation. It's
But we
funny.
will see if the iOS 9 will be okay on your phone.
This idea of iOS 9 kind of being the rejuvenation of this idea that we're going to support our phones for like 4 years or so, is definitely an interesting one, because like you don't see any other company really like making a stance on like, yeah, we'll support our hardware for X long before we'll have to keep dropping support
Yeah.
for the future. And even in my class, people will talk about things that are like, they'll be like, don't update your phone, it's a scam, because like if you update your phone, it's going to get slower, so that way you're forced to buy a new one, which is not
Yeah.
really the case, as much as it feels like that's how it is. It's just that when you update, they have all these features they want to add, but they can't fully function for performance wise. But now the iOS 9 is going to supposedly hopefully change that idea that you can run older hardware on new stuff, on new OS, and it will be fine. And in fact, you'll actually benefit greatly by battery and what's called app thinning, which is going to be a new feature developers are going to take advantage of for reducing the amount of space.
I mean, I was talking to someone about this, was that the fact that phones and like just portable computers are becoming so fast now that like at some point you won't even really kind of see a change in how quick they are, because what has to change is our like how we receive our internet, not necessarily what's in our hand, because our like products are becoming so fast. It's just like I'm pretty sure if we have the right internet, they will just be snappy, just like instantaneous. And at some point, I think that will end. Like we will never be able to kind of perceive the kind of the information being loaded or whatever. So we'll like I mean I'm sure we're gonna get to that point where our products are smart enough to like kind of be resistant to updates in terms of how fast they are, because I mean like I think people are getting smarter about designing websites and products that are small enough that it'll be fast. So I don't know. I guess I don't know where I was leading to that.
I guess it's the idea that we are going to be continually like more efficient with how we build things. Yeah. Hopefully that will be still a thing, because I think that's what this release is all about. It's about being more efficient and like really like stepping back. Okay, we've designed enough. Now let's like polish the hell out of it and make sure it's really optimal, which I think is the right approach. Makes you get the most bang for your buck out of your phone, and encourages developers to kind of be more conscious about how they allocate resources.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. Instead of just increasing things mindlessly, which is kind of what happens, not to like be a dig at Apple, but I feel like that's kind of become in terms of like the specs battle. They increasingly have more RAM put into their phones, and they just bump up the speed. But in terms of efficiency and rewriting things, it doesn't seem like developers really take heart to that, because if it's fast enough, it can just chug through the code, and it runs on Java primarily, and it's like Java's not the most efficient runtime. For those in the know, I don't know. It's not that fast. So having these higher specs makes the phone operate more smooth. And Apple just made the jump to 2 gigabytes of RAM, and most Android devices are at 4 now or higher, and including the iPad Pro, which is at 4 gigs right now. And if my phone's running at like 1 gig of RAM right now, as the iPhone 5, and it's able to handle all these things, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That it's able to do all that. So I think this idea of efficiency, hopefully this will become more of a theme with every update. And hopefully if I get my update done today, we'll give you more of an impression next week.
Yeah.
So good. Let's see. Is that all we want to talk about?
Pick of the week? Well, we have your pick of the week, dude. We saw through your pick of the week.
My pick of the week, but also you're supposed to do a pick of the week. doesn't
Eh,
have one to have one. All right.
I don't have one. You can
Well,
have one.
I'll
Maybe I'll
talk
do
about.
mine next week.
Okay, we'll do yours next.
We'll,
We'll
we'll
swap.
trade off. We'll trade
We'll
off.
trade off.
I'll be on the lookout.
So my pick of the week, it's not necessarily a product or a thing right now. It's more of a news idea I was thinking of because with the announcements last week about the iPad Pro, I was not too excited about it. I was like, okay, seems kind of cool, bigger iPad, see how it goes. And I really started to think about like, would I use this and who is it for? Um, I like the idea of a large iPad, you know, like I like the idea that
Hmm.
you have this like workspace that's, you know, touchscreen and you kind of like also a laptop, pseudo laptop. Um, and it, the iPad, I think the idea for the iPad is that it's going to be for like a person who's actually going to be a power user in a way.
Yeah.
It's like iPad Pro is like Apple's way of like making like starting this new product line where they're actually going to start targeting like power users and bring them into this new OS. And I don't know if like iOS will like still be the same on the iPad Pro eventually because like I think when you start having like these premium products like because Adobe went on stage and Microsoft went on stage about their creative programs and like production programs that are specifically for the iPad Pro, that it makes me wonder. I'm like, I wonder if this will become like a productivity thing, like a real thing, because it's a
Yeah.
beast. Like they showed the iPad, or at least they say and they show supposedly that the iPad can run three 4K streams simultaneously, and like you can edit and stuff like that, which is crazy. It's really good.
Bonkers.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's great.
I can't even
Um,
like do 1080p on my laptop without it like just oh my god, it was such a pain.
yeah,
It's like jitters.
and like even on my beast of a PC, like I mean, if I get enough filters and I do enough like production stuff in like After Effects, it will start chugging. And maybe those are two different things, but still, like 4K footage is not like a easy task to just
They're huge,
do.
huge
Yeah,
files.
huge files, lots, huge bit rate, lot of things with it. But it makes me wonder. I'm like, if Adobe's on board with this and they're creating like specific software for the iPad Pro to do editing for video. I mean, they
Yeah.
didn't announce that they were doing video editing, but they did like an InDesign kind of looking thing, and they had this whole dynamic link like on the Adobe. For those who don't know, Adobe has this ability to export files that you're working on in one program and then dynamically link it to another program, and you can
Hmm.
simultaneously work in both. And I do this a lot when I'm working in After Effects and Premiere. So, but they showed that you could work in this. I don't remember what they called it. Fit place. I don't know. There's like Adobe something. It would look like InDesign to me anyhow. Where they're able to work in this image file, and they clicked on it and they said, okay, send to Adobe like Photoshop or whatever, and they're able to edit the image and then save it and then send it back and do it on the same screen. They just do split screen stuff, and I was like, that really appealed to me because I was like, oh, like sure, I'm not sitting at my desk, but the fact that like it was able to do that dynamic link so easily, it made me wonder. I'm like, this would be really good for getting like rough cuts of like footage I've shot, or like being kind of like just getting the rough idea of my footage done in kind of an appealing format because it's like it's
Hmm.
a nice tablet, it's a nice screen, which is really good if you're doing grading or anything that has to do with color for the most part. And I'm like, I might if if this like is taken seriously by like a lot of production companies and this they actually start developing these great third party apps for the iPad Pro specifically, I might want to buy it, you know?
Whoa, this is like a like a 180 for you from last week.
Yeah, because I didn't really know. I was like, well, it's kind of cool, but the more I look at it, I'm like, this would be really cool because like when I'm doing editing, like let's say you're shooting a green screen, right? And you take that footage and you somehow get it on your iPad Pro, right? And you have to do what's called a garbage mask. So you draw this mask that's around the person so that anything that's like outside of it you don't care about because it's a green screen, right? They call it a garbage mask. Just throw out any extraneous like curves or wrinkles in the green screen if there's any. So that way when you render it's like faster and you don't have to worry about like making sure that the threshold for the green screen is like larger. You want it to be as small as possible. And Like I was thinking about, oh, I could like draw masks with like the pen, or if I was like, yeah, working in like an After Effects type program for like motion graphics, like that'd be so easy to just like click, drag, do the keyframing and stuff. It's like so much more intuitive than using a mouse when you're doing stuff like that. So, I mean, like we haven't seen any of that. None of this is like real right now, but the hardware is there for it, and the screen is good, the stylus is there, and the support is kind of there, although it doesn't exist fully in the idea that I have in my mind, but it exists, and I'm like, that would be really compelling. Because I think once we see benchmarks, people are like, throwing out numbers, and they're thinking that if you're comparing this to the Surface Pro 3, it's not really comparable because Apple. I feel like you can't really compare Apple products or Apple like processors to their counterparts for like i7 and stuff like that, because it's not really the same. You can kind of get close, but it's not really the same because Apple's designing a hardware and an OS together, integrating it. So when you look at performance, it might be better or worse depending on what you're looking at. Can't remember where I was going to go with it. Well, just that like, you can't edit 4K footage on a similar form factor with like the iPad Pro Surface or an iPad Pro. Wow, I just said iPad Pro Surface.
Yeah,
Microsoft's Surface.
This is
Pro.
definitely still morning for you.
Yeah, it's still morning for me. I'm just thinking too many thoughts all at once, and I think, I mean, they're probably, it's due for an update, probably the new Surfaces, but I think the iPad Pro will be much cooler than we're going to get credit for, and I'm kind of excited to see what the first impressions are, specifically MKBHD's impressions on it. I'm curious how that's what's his take on it, and yeah. So that was just the idea of the iPad Pro is like, yeah, they want to have it. I mean, it's called Pro, so it's aimed at people like, because like there's the MacBook Pro, and if you're like a video editor, you're gonna be that kind of person. You want to take advantage of the hardware, and certainly there is a lot of hardware for it. So
yep.
So that was my thought.
That was definitely Jeff's pick of the week.
Yeah, that was my pick of the week, and I'm excited for it now. It's still kind of expensive, but it might be worth it depending on what's gonna happen. So
okay, never forget that the MacBook right now is $1,000, and the tablet is definitely cheaper than that, and it's probably more powerful too. Maybe
we'll see.
Cool. Well, I guess that kind of calls it for us today, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a pretty long episode. It's almost an hour.
That was quite a bit.
That was long. We covered a lot. I think it feels pretty solid episode. If I say so.
I like how you're like flat, like tapping yourself on the back down. It's like, good job, Jeff.
Good job.
You did it. You did it.
Did well. Pretty good coverage. If you want to find out more about our show, follow the link in the description if you're watching it in video. Otherwise, go to techlaundrypodcast.com.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm Tertius Buffetta, and that's Jeffrey A. Barron. We have our show is on the iTunes store, so make sure to subscribe.
So check that out. Follow our Twitter accounts for upcoming coverage of the Google stuff, along with any other breaking stuff we might find.
Oh, I'm gonna be in ONA next week, so I'll be tweeting live from ONA about like a lot of new media and kind of journalism technology stuff. So if you guys are interested at all in that, I'll be covering that next week. I'll be there from Thursday to Saturday. So yeah.
Also, we might or might not do a show about ONA. So
we'll think about it, because I'm actually thinking about bringing my recorder and maybe doing some offsite stuff. But yeah.
That would be sweet. Also, from what I remember, you're also planning on buying an iPad Mini 4.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure if I'll do that this trip, but yeah.
But doing a small video on that would be pretty cool. And hopefully we have a new logo in the works. My brother is working on it. However, he's been kind of absent. He's doing a thing right now, taking a vacation, so to speak. So soon we'll have everything updated. I want
bigger and better things.
Bigger, better things are coming this way, guys. And I definitely, when I get my new phone, I definitely want to do kind of a rundown on it, even though it won't be like timely. But you know what? You guys don't watch this for timely stuff. You do it because you love our opinion. You love us. So
I don't really love these.
That's what I believe anyhow. God, I hope that's the case, because otherwise we're really off time.
There are people who just hate watching this, and like they take a shot every time we say
Now they're dead. So,
all right, guys.
That being said, we'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about iOS 9 impressions. We'll talk about Ona probably, and who knows what else. But until then, make sure you.
We need to come up with something because it's embarrassing every time.
Make sure you tie your shoes, dot your I's, cross your T's, and it's a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Bye. Bye.
Oh,
and we're closing out in 3, 2, 1.